name is Leda. I'm an artist working in my home studio located in Victoria, BC, as an uninvited guest on the Lekwungen territories. I am primarily working with image transfer in my work, mostly on bones lately, and I'm also the program coordinator for the local organization, the Ministry of Casual Living. So there I've gotten a lot of experience with curating shows and working with a lot of the local artists here. I have been making art my whole life. I went to school for art education. Bones were always around my house. My mom has a lot of bones because she grew up on a farm located in Gwyn, which is close to Wetaskiwin, Alberta. So she got a lot of her bones from my Nana and Papa, who lived and worked on a farm. And when she was in art school, she actually had my Nana send her bones so that she could incorporate them into her art practice. What she did is she created a giant bone mobile that was floor to ceiling. I've started foraging my own bones and kind of gathering my own collection, learning the process of cleaning bones, sometimes not super well, definitely gonna have to work on that one. And then I decided I wanted to kind of experiment a little bit with transferring images onto bones. I've been into photography and also photo editing, video editing, that sort of thing, and just getting really experimental with that for a while. And my mom was kind enough to let me use the bones that she used for her own mobile in around 1989. So that's where the name of the project comes from. It's Bone Study 1989 until an unidentified date, because this is a project that I plan on continuing hopefully throughout my life. So she let me use her bones, which was great because she had already drilled holes in a lot of them. So I was able to suspend them as well for my project. And a lot of the images that I used to transfer onto the bones were actually photocopies that my mom had kind of started creating in the 90s. She grew up very religious. She raised me atheist, but we both always had a strong interest in Christian iconography. So a lot of the images that I transferred are these Christian iconography images that she photocopied from books at the library. So I have a lot of those on the bones, and then also some that used me as the subject. Some of them are Christian iconography prints that I have collected because I have my own collection of those, and then also images of me and my mother throughout my life, and also I have an image that I love of my mom with her own bone mobile that I was able to actually transfer through different methods onto the bones as well. It was an intersectional feminist art show, and so we had the work in the end of over 40 artists, which was great. Local artists from various backgrounds, levels of experience in the art world, a wide range of ages, and it was great. So we were able to curate this show called Wanton Everything Bagel and just have so much representation. The biggest show that I've been able to help curate, so that was really exciting. And me and Ashley, who had the idea for the show, who I co-curated it with, we kind of had our installations in relationship with one another in this staircase, kind of off to the side, especially as the curators, we didn't want our work front and center. We call it the brutalist staircase. It's this really echoey cement staircase, and so I got to hang my work there. So it kind of felt like my work was in a crypt or a dungeon. And it's a really odd staircase with a window at the top, so the light would shine down on the bones, and I was also able to use my own lights to kind of create really cool shadows with the bones as well, so that became part of the piece. Yeah, that was really exciting. I got a lot of really cool feedback. Why I felt it tied into the feminist theme is that basically the way I was seeing this project was me having a relationship with my mother before she was a mother. So a relationship with her, because she started this project before I was born, it was a way for me to connect with that version of her and connect with her on a more individual level, removed from her identity as a mother. She's always like, you know, picking up the trash and then keeping the trash that is really cool and highlighting it in her house, in her shadow boxes. So she kind of raised me to do the same and to be a collector, and I see that as part of both of our art practices. I would say, especially after I graduated, after doing art education, I was really lucky to basically immediately get the opportunity to work in the arts. I worked a summer position at Esquimalt Community Arts Hub, which I see as the main reason why I was able to continue on to work at Ministry of Casual Living and get other opportunities. I think I've been re-inspired by getting into this work with bones because it's something so new to me. And so this is my main practice right now, but I really love temporary art or art that changes throughout its process. Like I took some photographs of some things that were molding in my mom's backyard that I placed out there over a few months and kind of like monitored their process of decomposition. There's transfers on both sides. So this would be done with an image transfer marker. What you do is you tape the image onto the bone, and then you use the image transfer marker, and then afterwards you burnish that on. And I didn't know it would do this, but what I like about it is that it looks like something that you might have dug up, because the images that are transferred are never extremely clear. And usually there's kind of some spots that either get smudged, which can be frustrating, but also sometimes that becomes part of the work. And that's something that I really like about it. So one of the other methods that I used was cyanotype. My friend Joan sent me a great article. Someone had done their thesis on cyanotype on bone. So cyanotype, basically what you would do is it uses UV. So you kind of mix the chemicals for the cyanotype, and then you can either use a UV projector or you can use the sunlight to transfer the image. So ideally you would have, say, a giant negative, or for example, this is a flower from my mom's garden. And I want to experiment with it more because I'd love to get more clarity with that. Bones on their own are so porous that they soak up the cyanotype fluid. So what you use is actually a bone medium, which is gelatin. You paint a layer of gelatin onto the bone, and then you do the cyanotype on top of that, and the gelatin, which is basically just ground up bone, makes it less porous, and then you're able to do the cyanotype. So you can do the transfer medium with color photocopies as well. It just depends on the kind. Certain ones don't work. So this was actually a collage that I made digitally. So this is actually me, and then that's actually my face again, which comes up quite a bit on the bones. And then, for example, here you can see a bit of a different method for these, and also for this image here. This is actually my mom holding me as a baby. I kind of like that it didn't fully transfer, because for some reason it totally erased my baby self. So it's just my mom, and I kind of like that. It's interesting. And this was just using a transfer medium that you use to transfer images. I found that a little bit difficult to work with, to be honest, but we got some cool effects, and it's really all just about the experimentation. And I also tried the projector method for cyanotype as well, but unfortunately that did not work that well. It still had a cool effect. I created a digital negative of my mom's image that she had of her with her bone mobile, and then I projected it onto my wall for the duration of a few hours. And what I was hoping is that the cyanotype would transfer onto the bone, but I have to experiment more with that. But it is a really cool method of cyanotype image transfer if anyone is interested in kind of exploring that, especially in the winter months when it's less sunny outside. I've been still dabbling in drawing and some painting and stuff like that, but this is kind of what's motivating me right now. I've had someone talk to me about their relationship with their mom in connection to the project. And so I like that. I think that connection in particular is really strong and complicated, and when you connect over it with someone else, that's a really nice feeling. I don't think I really want anyone to feel anything in particular. I kind of see this project as a bit of a performance where the audience is engaged with it, and if they have different interpretations and different stories that come up, that just kind of becomes part of the project and part of the Bones story. So